Look, the other thing, an obsolete hydrologic model and no model of subsurface flows. Are you kidding me?
No.
So again, I guess I'm saying, thank goodness we have new leadership here. Because that's just unbelievable.
Yeah, we rely solely on institutional knowledge from people like Steve Coffey and Ramon who have been here for decades and go to them to do it.
Yeah, no, I understand. I'm not denigrating
Yeah.
knowledge at all.
No, but it needs to be documented for
It
others.
needs to be documented.
Yeah,
for
and
others.
analyzed and
The
vetted.
joke is what happens if someone gets run over.
Exactly.
in the bus.
Yeah, we don't pass the bus test right now.
Right.
We do not.
So I'm glad. The other thing I'll give you some positive feedback on. I like the idea of staff involvement. Because that will be more likely, it's more than a piece of paper.
Correct.
Right? The one thing, now this is just some friendly observations. I hope you take them this way.
Okay.
The idea, I think, is we need to have a real plan that supports decision making and assessment of where you're going on your investments. And for a board, I would guess, although I'll let everyone speak for himself, but I would work with a lot of boards, so I have a little firsthand knowledge. To have them understand the alternatives and the consequences and the actual risks they are bearing. The actual risk that they're bearing if you go this way or that, I think is really essential. And that will feed into his job, how to manage the risk.
Yep.
Okay. So from that point of view, I was a little surprised by both the RFP and HOP. You can't find the word risk assessment in either documents. And I would urge you not necessarily to see if they can at least put that also into their work.
Are you talking about like a condition assessment on the pipelines?
No, I'm just saying, okay, you're designing some system. We think we may expand. What are the risks of that expansion?
Okay.
There's technology risk. There's economic risk.
Okay.
There's regulatory risk, and it's all the difficult thing. It's all about the future. It's not about 1958. Oh, because anything you're building now, anything you're planning now, you're not building for what, 5 years?
Yeah.
Or so. So be forward looking. And again, I just didn't see that in the documentation. The other thing is on water supply reliability. You mentioned Met, which was good, but you also mentioned Eastern. It's my recollection of the agreement with Eastern. You're just ordering through them, right? You have no access to any of their other water sources, correct?
Correct.
So the risk assessment should be on Met. In other words, if you find you need to juggle around some budgets, you got to focus on Met. Because that's where your supply risk is coming from. It's not coming from Eastern. Right? Unless they don't.
I'm taking notes, Rodney.
Okay. Yeah, I appreciate it. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm just trying to share a perspective.
Okay.
Also, when you get to that, there was no mention of really the sort of three major drivers of Met, which is, of course, the Colorado River and the negotiations. And the fact that Met is committing itself to maybe reductions of 200,000 acre feet a year. Nothing about that. As well as, of course, the state project leads, so if that risk assessment or the talk about reliability about Met should be addressing these issues. And there's a lot of information that's publicly available. So, I mean, it's not like you have to start from scratch. A lot of people are talking about that. On the demand forecasting, no discussion of how price impacts your sales. No discussion of variability, as you said, weather. As we all know, you design systems for peak demands. And so I hope that's implicit, but I'm just saying I didn't see it.
Okay.
And I hope it's part of, you know, what is provided. And I would say, those are sort of the major points. I just wanted to share.
Okay,
Again, I'm not criticizing, I just didn't see it.
got it.
And I just think a good, effective master plan that is more the mode of supporting decision making as opposed to putting on a shelf.
Yep.
I think these are things you may want
Okay,
to add
thank you.
in some way.
Thanks, Steve. Thank you. I have a couple comments. Jake and I have discussed this potential project for more than one occasion. And I think he knows that I am wary and a little suspicious about it. And looking at the consultant that we selected, I'm probably less at ease than I could have been. There's no doubt Hoke is a good team. I mean, and we've used them a lot. And the reason I have some concerns about this project is I have seen it in other environments where the development of a master plan has really become a forum for the staff and in some cases certain consultants working on it to push for certain capital projects that may or may not be essential to the district. And I know that we probably have people here in Rainbow that are very desiring to have certain things done, which may or may not be economically as sound as they could be. And I'm always worried when development of a master plan gets started that steps are taken. I'm worried that steps are not taken to make sure it does not become a CIP grab bag for everybody and their personal needs or personal desires. And I've seen it happen. I've seen capital programs just essentially disappear into thin air because of all of this wish list stuff that got pushed into a master plan. I'm concerned about it. And I'm particularly concerned because the company, Hoke, that you selected, which I get it, I understand why. They've done a lot of work for us. And there have been times when Hoke has made some recommendations that I was not terribly comfortable with. Gilding the lily, overdoing some things. And I'm hoping that you guys will keep an eye on them because they have had a history with us, which leads me to the final thing that I think they were the second most expensive of the teams proposed. Is that right? Was that right?
Have the table here.
Third? Okay. Given the amount of work that they have, there, yeah, okay, I got you. Thanks.
Yeah.
Given the
Sure.
amount of work that they have done for us and the fact that they have already made recommendations for us to install pumps and lines and other things that have had serious effects on our CIP budget, it's hard for me to understand why they need this much money to do a master plan study when they have been so deeply involved in designing, recommending and designing the stuff, a lot of the stuff that we have out there now. So I'm gonna vote yes. I'm gonna vote to support this. And I'm just gonna encourage the staff to do all you can to keep this from becoming a grab bag and to see what you can do to try and get the expense less because they know us. They probably know parts of our system better than we know ourselves, I think, given the work they've done here, the extensive work they've done with us. So those are my comments. Steve?
Rod,
Rod, sorry.
AKA Steve.
Yeah.
First of all, I do share your observation about capital. General. And I guess what I'd like to add to my list of comments, if I may, I think the capital planning has to be also more like an decision framework of, look, here's the alternatives, the pros, the cons, the risk, and principles of a case statement. I have found in other settings, having to defend a recommendation sometimes helps in the quality of decision. I think it's sort of, it's not only the tool, what do you build, but be sure what you build is usable and informative for the board's long-term decision making. And that's, again, sort of missing in the documents. The only other thing I'd say, I will abstain, and the reason why I abstain, I have no basis for supporting any selection because you gave a scoring summary, but what was the criteria, the scoring or whatever, it wasn't discussed. So I have no understanding for the recommendation. That doesn't mean I'm against it, that's just that I can't support something I don't understand.
Just tagging on to what Flint mentioned, I'm new to this position, so I don't have a full history on Hotch as a consultant. But I surmise from Flint that there is a long history of Hotch in this organization in terms of awarding bids and getting work from Rainbow. Could you expand on that? Is that a fair statement or?
It was Flint's statement.
What?
You asked, is it a fair statement? I said it was Flint's statement.
Yeah,
I'm sure that there are people inside the Rainbow staff that probably are not fully or at all in concurrence with some of the observations I made and some of the concerns that I've expressed. And I get that. It's free country. They're entitled to where they come from. I would have frankly preferred that we would have brought, and I recognize it might have cost a little more money, but I would have preferred for us to have brought a fresher set of eyes to Rainbow, just because Hoke has been so deeply involved in many of the big capital operations that we've done here. And that would have been helpful, but they are capable. There's no doubt they're capable. They're talented. They're dedicated. They seem to work hard. They seem to meet your requirements in terms of time, schedule, so forth. So that's why I'm gonna stand back and say, that's fine.
do we have a long history with Hope?
Since I've been here, we use them on the emergency sewer repairs on North River Road
Yep.
for a portion of that. They were awarded the proposal for the San Luis Rey groundwater study
Pump station.
and then the 3 pump stations. Those are the 3 projects I'm aware of.
Thoroughbred was awarded to Kennedy Jank
Yeah.
for design. The next big project was Horse Creek lift station. That was done by Dexter Wilson.
Okay.
I am only aware of those 3 for Hoke.
By the way, Flint and I had not coordinated before this meeting.
No.
Because it's, may
No.
wonder, what's the size of your CIP? Over the next 5 years?
Oh, over the
Round
next-
numbers, not round
40.
numbers.
40.
Yeah, I was gonna say
8 times 5.
40 million.
Yeah.
Okay, getting back to your point, quality of this thing is essential. And if that's going to be the guiding of $40 million of decision making. Now, admittedly, I'm a consultant, few extra 100,000 for a better deal may be a good investment, a great deal. Because you're improving your wisdom of $40 million worth of decision. But that's only the perspective of there.
Any other questions or comments on this item? If not, I'm looking for a motion. Anybody?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, so
I will
you
move that,
we-
that we
proceed with the staff
proceed with the staff
recommendation.
recommendation.
Okay, is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Bob. So it's been moved by Steve, seconded by Bob, that we move forward with the staff recommendation to select Hoke for the master plan. And then since we've had some discussion, I think I'll just go to a vote. All those in favor, say aye. Aye. All opposed? Okay, it's unanimous.
No,
I subs-
there's an
I
abstention.
I abstain.
You abstained.
Yeah.
Okay, one abstention. Okay,
For the reasons stated.
okay,
I see two abstentions.
Yeah.
okay.
Thank you.
So we'll move to item 12. Notice of completion and acceptance of minor facilities constructed by customers.
Yeah, this is something that the engineering department started doing about 5 years ago, where even if it's what we consider a minor facility, a 1-inch water service, a new fire hydrant, we actually formally accept it. We go through a warranty period just like we would on our thoroughbred lift station or the potable pump stations project. And so these typically go on the consent calendar. Sometimes we have one, sometimes we have five, sometimes we have zero. But this is one of those, and this one was for
Fire hydrant.
I believe it was for a fire hydrant. And through my notes real quick.
I'm just reading the calendar item. It says installation of a fire hydrant at 4371 South Mission Road, Fallbrook, constructed by Draves Pipeline, Inc., Division 2.
That's it. Thank
Is
you.
that it?
That's it.
Okay.
Thank you. There it is. Yep. So that'll be put on the board's consent agenda.
Do we know how much that fire hydrant cost?
We don't have the construction agreement with Draves and the homeowner, but the engineer's estimate is just under $35,000 of the valuation added to the district system.
Okay. All right. And the staff is recommending that this be recommended to the board. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. Any conversation
Yes, ma'am.
on this matter? None? All right. All those in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
May I have a motion in second, please?
Oh, God, you're picky. Okay, yeah, you're right. I just went right ahead. Is there a motion to submit this to the board? I'll move that we recommend staff recommendation to the board on this.
I'll second that.
Okay, Steve seconds. Now, all those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And we have an abstention again. Why are you abstaining again?
I have really no basis for one way or another to recommend it.
Okay, I mean, you're free to do that. I
Yeah.
just was curious
Yeah.
if you had conflict of interest concern or anything
No.
like that. No, this is
No.
just getting acquainted.
Well, no, it's just, I look at the information for me, and if I don't have enough information to come to a decision, I'll stay.
Okay, gotcha. Thank you. All right, that item passes almost unanimously. Item 13, as needed, I did not look to see if there are any yellow dots.
We had two.
Two yellow dots. What are they for, Chad?
So we are underway district-wide with Specialty Mowing Services SMS for weed abatement. And we are in the bird nesting season right now. And so many of the sites that we are clearing require biological surveys done prior. And so one was to Helix Environmental and the second was to Recon Environmental.
Bird nesting survey. Huntley, I didn't bring my glasses. Does that say Huntley?
Yeah, so at the Huntley Gomez pump station, that was the one done by Helix, and Recon did several sites. The Gopher Canyon tank, Vallecito's tank, Cananita tank, the Camino del Rey Bridge, the Musa Bridge, and the Musa sewer line easement.
And this is to prevent us having to have a $50,000 bird?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, if we found a nesting bird that's on the protected list, we would have deferred the work. And this is if the committee, and we'll tell the board if they have the same question, but this was a catch up year. This maintenance had been deferred at
Yeah.
many sites for a couple of years.
Right.
We typically would not do this during the nesting season, but
Right.
here we are.
Good idea.
Here we are doing it in the nesting season.
Chad, just in this document, on the larger one, it doesn't make any reference to what the work was, right? It just lists the
On the
site
spreadsheet,
on the spreadsheet. So just a request to up above, it says bird nesting, but the second one, it's just a list of places, but not a what.
okay. Let me look into that.
Oh, wait, oh, there is a BNS. Okay.
I was
Oh,
gonna,
okay.
I was like, we typically
BS?
do it.
Well, I did, now I see the BNS, whereas the other one, it's actually spelled out as bird nesting.
Bird nesting survey.
Or a quick glance at, didn't catch it,
Do you want more information next time?
just to be clear,
Okay,
right?
less acronym.
No more TLAs.
Yeah.
Okay, we good? Next item, 14, suggested agenda items for the next,
I have two questions.
okay,
I looked at, at your expenditures and you got an Epic Land Solution, you got an appraisal or something, right?
This is the as needed one.
Yeah.
As we're talking about.
Yeah.
Which page are you on, Rodney?
Oh, I didn't read
Okay.
the, was it?
The on-call real estate services?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they gave you an evaluation opinion?
Yes, they did an appraisal back in 2023 for when the district was looking into possibly selling some surplus land.
Okay. And when did they do that work? Since I
As 2013, 23. I'm sorry, 2023.
2023. Okay,
Is that what you're talking about, this one?
yeah, I was just interested. Are they still under an as needed? Because it looks like you have
They-
unexpended funds.
Yeah, their contract expires November 3rd,
Right.
this calendar year, 2025.
Well, that appraisal is out of date.
And the board decided not to
Okay.
proceed with selling of the surplus land anyway, so.
Okay,
That is
Just
currently,
curious.
as Robert stated, a book stop in my office.
Oh, the book stop.
Yeah, if the board ever directs staff to look into it again, we'll
Yeah.
dust off that and go back out.
Yeah, well, that's the way it should be. The other question I had is this return flow study, of the San Luis Rey Basin, at 1.3 million.
Okay, are you still on the on-call
Yeah,
as needed?
yeah.
Okay,
What's the purpose of that study?
okay, I gotta find where you're at because you're not giving me page numbers.
Oh, it's 113.
That study was to determine if we were to sink wells in this somewhere down along the San Luis Rey Basin,
Mhm.
how much water could we pull out of those wells and where would be the best locations? And then how do we treat it? And then where do we send the brine? Cause the obvious answer you do is RO treatment. And how do we get rid of the brine?
we did this, as I recall, as part of the groundwater evaluation where we were looking to increase our water supply by generating our own water rather than buying it. And
But part of it was, how did Tom Kennedy word this? It had to do with studying specifically what you're talking about, the wastewater in regards to, no, I wouldn't call it, I guess leach field. Right.
I just want to make sure, I'm not seeing that on the on-call as needed
No,
list.
I'm not.
I just want to make
Well,
sure
within
we're
the
talking about the
documents,
same
yeah.
thing,
Yeah,
because that's not ringing any bells and I'm not seeing it.
well, I saw it in my, well, I
And this is
downloaded it
recorded and then
last night.
Teresa's gonna send the minutes and then I'm gonna be like, that's not what we were actually talking about.
Yeah, just a sec. Excuse my finger.
Was that part of the master plan?
No,
No, there
no.
was two components to all this. One was
Right.
looking at anybody that has,
wells,
yeah,
no, not wells, septic systems. We can recover that water after it leaches through the leach field and goes underground. What's the
Still looking for
potential to recover that water as part of the larger investigation with the groundwater? So how much of that water are we able to recover? What are we entitled to? Right? Because once it goes through the ground and
You
gets
can't
into
find
the
it?
water table.
no, no.
essentially-
Talking about different things.
No. That's an adjudicated basin, right? San Luis Rey Basin,
I
that-
believe so.
it's adjudicated. Does Rainbow have water rights in that basin?
We're not prepared, this is not on the agenda, we're not prepared to
Okay.
start going down that.
Well, I
line.
think the next
against
time you
being
spend
recorded.
1.3 million, you may want to look.
But could you tell me where you found the 1.3 million? I'm not seeing that.
that's not an amount we would spend
Yeah,
on an
that's-
as needed
that's my
agreement.
point.
No,
That's why I
it
don't-
wasn't here,
Pardon?
just give me the paper. It's in the
It's not
packet
on
of
that.
this
That's
meeting.
not on there.
Well, it's not part of the as
2
needed.
years.
Oh, okay.
This is the as
Okay.
needed, so.
Okay, well,
That's-
just give me that part.
When we studied.
Because I feel, as chairman, I feel like I want to accommodate as much discussion as possible, but I think we need to try to stick to some extent to the item on the agenda, which is the as needed.
Right.
And typically, we don't spend $1 million.
Correct.
On an
That's why,
as
that's
needed.
why I asked to
Yeah.
pause the conversation
yeah.
to make sure we're all.
I
on the
think you
same
saw it
page.
somewhere else, right?
Yeah, somewhere else in this document, yeah.
Not in the,
Not, maybe not, well, I'm saying the document, I'm talking about the whole.
you're
What-
talking about
packet, the
all
whole
of this.
Yeah,
If I
Yeah.
may,
yeah,
if you find it,
Yeah.
email it to me and I
Okay.
will gladly look into it.
okay, good. That'll be a good follow-up.
Thank you.
Okay,
I thought it died.
huh?
Oh,
I
yeah,
thought that whole effort died.
It did. We finished it off. And again, wasn't Hoke Engineering our,
That was
Yeah.
that was the second project.
so they were spending a lot of time understanding our infrastructure and how we would operate. Again, I'm now backhandedly making a case that they shouldn't be charging quite so much money given what they already know, but that's yes, that was part of the groundwater program. Yes, it was. It
next
was.
time I'll tell you what, I'll put this in an email for
Yeah.
you, but next time you do an engineering study, you better check your legal basis first. Because if you don't have rights in the adjudicated basin, and Rainbow has no water rights, you can't, you did an engineering study that, people can study basins and hydrology, but I would be very skeptical of your ability to do that. You get your,
I think you're right. And
you get sued.
my recollection, because I was we had a special committee for that, right?
I truly, Chairperson Nelson, I am not at liberty to speak on this. This happened 2+ years ago, and
You were here.
I was here, but I don't have the records in front of me, and I do not want to speak on
I'm
the
pretty
record.
sure that we had, just like this committee, we had an ad hoc committee that worked with the general manager and with staff on pursuing alternatives
Mhm,
to increase our supply of water by
mhm.
tapping
Yeah,
groundwater. And
it'd be good if you,
we
And
looked
you
at a
will.
lot of sites. We looked at a lot of options. We looked at what to do with the brine. We looked at what to do with the discharge.
Yeah.
I mean, Robert, you were part of that. We looked at a lot of things.
I thought it
And
was
we-
economically unfeasible. That was what killed it.
The economics of it was that the cost per unit of water was very high,
Mhm,
and it was not clear that we were gonna get there
mhm,
in any rapid pace through the other sources of water
mhm.
to make it equivalent. And
Yeah.
so
It'd be good if you had a legal right to do
You know,
that study.
since,
Yeah.
Mr. Chairman, since we're on items for next committee meeting.
Yeah.
Since Chad is not prepared to speak on this, maybe we should just agendize this as a discussion item. Since it was a $1.3 million project, there's a lot of questions on it in terms of, what was studied and why was it studied and what were the results of it. So maybe we just agendize that
Right.
for a discussion item at the next.
is that something that we need to do? I mean, this project has been declared dead. Basically, we're not moving forward on it in any way. Is this something that the committee wants to spend time on?
And ask staff to spend time on,
What?
and ask
And
staff.
ask staff to spend time on? I mean, I'm kind of thinking we've already plowed that furrow.
Water under the bridge. right?
Yeah, no pun intended.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, the only concern I have is that as you go forward, be sure you have your legal right to do your project.
Point taken.
That's about,
Point taken.
Yeah.
Okay, who's got access to Julie's text? You do,
I do.
because she made a couple of recommendations for items for the next meeting.
Okay.
Even though I'm hearing that we may not be having a September meeting, maybe.
Huh.
Okay. Suggested agenda items for next meeting include state and federal grants update and where we are in getting backup generators at all pump stations. That's it. An update on state and federal grants and where we stand. And where,
Backup generators at the pump stations, right?
Yep.
Okay.
all
We're
remain.
gonna be funded by the grants. Wasn't that the idea?
We are
grant
pursuing-
money and then buy the generator.
we are pursuing all opportunities and
Yeah.
avenues.
Yes, we are.
It's not
There's a
single.
fair amount of activity actually going on with all that, isn't there, right now? Right?
With the grants.
Pursuing the grants and looking at how we get backup generators at the pump station.
Yeah,
right?
that is now, is Esther heading up that Constantine, the grant effort?
Right.
Yeah.
Good.
That's in the finance department.
So any problems then with those being added to next time? You okay with that, Constantine?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
Robert?
It's, sounds like
Chad?
it's an update, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Just to request something. And that would be whichever next time the,
We'll have
Yeah.
grants update on the finance committee next week. Esther will do presentation.
Okay. All right, so I think we're done here. Does everybody agree? So item 15, adjournment. Call it quits.
So move.
we're
Okay.
good.